In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to add a quiz. So if we take the IPC topic, the Year 4 IPC topic chocolate, and we wanted to add a quiz about chocolate. First thing you have to do, as always, is turn editing on. Once editing is on, you add an activity and scroll down and find quiz. The page refreshes automatically, and then the form for adding a new quiz comes up. You have to give it a name, so let's just call it chocolate. You don't have to include an introduction, but you can. Take this quiz to test. I'm going to also include a picture, and what I feel is the easiest way to add a picture is to use the image URL. So once you've done a Google search and once you've found an image that you like, you do have to view the full size image. There it is, and there is the image URL, or the image web address. Copy that and paste it into here. Click OK, and there's the picture. Okay, it's probably a bit too big, that picture. It's always better to use pictures that are 2 to 300 by 2 to 300. Once you've done that, once you've completed that, you can scroll down. There, as you get to know quizzes and use quizzes more and more, you'll get to be able to change some of these settings. One of the settings that you can use in most of the activities is you can open the activity and you can have it shown to your students from a particular date, and you can close the activity on a particular date. So you could set the quiz up for a month, 2 months, 3 months time, and it just wouldn't appear until the date that you'd set there. And then if you wanted it open just for a week, you could set it to close a week later. Okay. There's one section on layout which you can change later. It might be better to change here. It sets to default that every question goes on a new page. I would say, depending on how you want it to look, I would prefer to have sort of a few questions on each page, so the students don't have to constantly move on to the next page, but that depends on how you feel. Again, most of these settings, just leave them as they are. You don't have to change any of them, but as you get to know and understand and use quizzes more, you'll get to change these as you see fit. You can give feedback, so if they get 100%, you can say congratulations, something like that. And you can give other grade boundaries. You might give an 80%, a 50%, something like that. Group mode, no groups, visible, show. And then down at the bottom here, it's very important that you save and display. Don't save and return to the course, because you haven't actually set the questions yet. This is just for setting up the quiz. You have to save and display. So the second half of creating a quiz is to actually create the questions itself. Once you've created the scaffolding, as we've done previously, now you have to actually include the questions. There's 2 ways of adding a question. You can add a new question, or you can go to the question bank, which is just on the side here. And the question bank holds the questions that any other teacher has created in Moodle. And provided you are allowed access to their questions, you can use them. So if a teacher in your year group has created some questions previously on, for this example, chocolate, you can choose to add their questions into your quiz. So you can essentially use their quiz. I have actually got one question that has been previously created, so the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to add a question from the question bank. If you select default for chocolate, or even default for your year group, it will come up with the questions that the other members of your year group have created. And there we go, we have our chocolate question number 1 here. So if I tick chocolate question number 1, where was chocolate first made, I can then click on add to quiz. It refreshes the page, and there is my question number 1. Okay. Once I've completed that question, I can then add a question of my own if I like. Now that was a multiple choice question, question number 1. This time we'll do a true or false. And then we click next, and it refreshes the page. So the question name again is important. For question 1 it was called chocolate. Question 1, so we'll call this chocolate question 2. The question text is the question itself. So this is a true or false question, so we need a statement. Chocolate was a drink when it was first created. General feedback. Okay, correct answer. Obviously that's very important. Chocolate was a drink when it was first created, so the correct answer is true. Feedback for the response, true. Well done. This is the correct answer. And then we scroll down, give it a tag. It's very important that you tag all of your questions. The last question that we added, question number 1 that was added, had the tag of chocolate IPC. So I'm going to add chocolate IPC as a tag for this question as well, and then you click Save Changes. And now we have 2 questions. Now you can carry on adding questions, you can add as many as you wish, and if you want to change the ordering of the questions or the number of questions that appear on each page, you have to go to the tab Ordering and Paging, and then it allows you to move the questions up and down to create new pages and that sort of thing. And that is how you add questions to your quiz. When you've finished your quiz, you can go back to your course and you'll be able to preview it. So if you click on the quiz that you've created, the chocolate quiz, it opens it up, continue the last preview, and it will preview what the students will see. So there we have question number 1 and the multiple choice, question number 2 and the true and false. Now there's one thing that I mentioned before, is about trying to make these activities as attractive and appealing as possible, and one quick and easy way, as also mentioned before, is just to add some pictures. So if there were some pictures here that were related to the questions itself, it may add a little bit, make it look a little bit nicer. So to do that, once you're in the quiz and you're previewing the quiz, you can go down and find Quiz Administration on the left hand side, and if you go further down to Edit Quiz, it takes you through to this section here that you've seen before, and it shows you the questions here. If you find the hand and the pencil next to the question number 1, it will allow you to edit that question. So it takes you back to here where it asks you for the question name, the question itself, the feedback and the choices, for example. Now where the question is posed here in the question text, this is a good place to add a picture. However, It might be nicer to have the picture here on the right hand side and the question on the left, and to do that you need to put it into a simple table. So insert if we cut the question, insert a table, 2 columns, 1 column for the question, 1 column for the picture, but with just 1 row, and don't change anything else, then click insert and it gives you this very tiny table. Now if you paste the question back in, and I'm just going to adjust the font size of the question so it's nice and large again, and then click into the second column in the table, and this is where you can add insert an image. So here it gives you the option to put the image URL, as we've said before, and if I've done here a search for chocolate icon, and I've also done an advanced search to make it an icon size, image size icon, and therefore it will keep the image nice and small. I don't want a big image that will make the quiz look ridiculous. And if we scroll down, I think that's quite a nice icon. It's 128 by 128, so that's a nice size. And if I look for another icon, there's another icon with the same size, so I'll be able to use that for question 2. So there's the picture, full size image, because we must get the URL of the picture itself. Highlight and copy that and put that into the URL. OK, and there we've got the question and the icon, and now I can go down and save the changes. When I've done that, I would do the same for question 2, clicking on the hand with the pencil, cut the text, insert the table, 2 columns, 1 row, insert the table. In the first column, paste back into the text and make it big again. Size 5 is quite a nice size, and then click into the second column, find the tree icon for insert image, and that's where I need the image URL. So if I go back to my Google search and find that second image and full size image of that, so I get the URL of that specific picture again, copy and paste it in, and OK, and there it is. And now I can go down to the bottom again, save the changes, and now if I go back to the chocolate quiz, continue the last preview, now it looks a little bit more attractive. There's just a little touch, but it adds something to the quiz and something that the students will hopefully enjoy slightly more. So that is how to add a little bit of colour to your quiz.